Hi, I'm Danny Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of Penn Voice. I am joined today by Dr. Sara Larios-Mitchell, who's the CEO for StarVista. Sara, welcome back.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here with you.
It's always
again.
great to have someone come and give us an update as to what's happening with and at StarVista. It's such a great program. So
thank you.
I'll stop talking. Tell us a little bit about StarVista for those that haven't heard the name of the organization.
Absolutely. So StarVista is a San Mateo County-based nonprofit, and our organization helps people navigate through life's challenges, and we all have challenges at some point in our lives. And there are several different things that we do. We have counseling programs. We have a lot of early childhood work as well that we do. A big part of our agency is working with youth housing. So we work with homeless youth, foster youth, transitional age youth, and then of course our crisis intervention work as well. And between all of those service areas, we have about 30 different programs now. So we've been growing and growing, and we serve about 41,000 people, just to give you a sense of our reach of individuals right in San Mateo County alone.
Right.
So it's quite a bit that we do, and there's three main things that we strive for. The first is to empower individuals. So we always partner with our clients. It's such an honor and privilege for us, and we mean that sincerely, to be able to have our clients trust in our work. So we want them to feel empowered. We also want to inspire hope. So oftentimes when people are in the midst of a crisis, it's really hard to feel hopeful or optimistic about a good outcome. And so that's another big part of our work. And then lastly, we want to strengthen communities. We know that when people are healthy, when they're thriving, when they're feeling like they're part of the community, that strengthens the whole community. And so we're proud to know that we're doing our part to help make San Mateo County that much more vibrant, healthy, and alive.
Well, I know it's sort of the good news, bad news that you're serving 41,000 individuals. That's the good news. The bad news is that you need to serve 41,000 and probably more through your program. So we've seen sort of transitions of when the organization was first started and thought about with Rich Gordon, and what we remember as youth and family services, to today. We are better at identifying youth in crisis. We are knowing that their lives are more complex, and the answers and solutions and services are more complex today. But as you said, you're reaching. And you're out there, and you are available. What are the challenges that you think are sort of perhaps today versus 40 years ago, or what are you looking at in the future?
Right. You know, there's so many different things that are happening now that were there when we started. So our organization actually started in 1966.
So even longer than I even said the 40 years.
I know. I just did some research, and we started out as Peninsula Suicide Prevention, and it was one of the very first suicide prevention hotlines in the entire country. So think of the big metropolitan areas across the country. And there was this little nonprofit that started in Burlingame. And so that nonprofit was addressing mental health issues, anxiety, depression, people contemplating suicide, and really working to give people the resources and tools to get through those difficult times. And so to answer your question, unfortunately, we're still dealing with a lot of that now. And I think what makes it more complicated are things that we're all talking about, like social media, there's increased stress and anxiety, I think, just here on the peninsula with traffic, housing issues,
cost of living.
Poverty issues. And so I think it's become a much more stressful environment. The exciting thing is that I think our organization, in partnership with others, we're doing our part to try to reduce the mental health stigma that exists. And we're trying to do that, from elementary school, junior high, high school, and then of course with the adult population.
Right. So what do you see as your future? What are the things, what are the challenges or the solutions or the services that you want to ensure are there for our community in the future?
Well, we'd like to continue to grow because I think there are other folks who are not reaching. That 41,000 number is kind of staggering. But when you think of all the folks who live here in San Mateo County and who aren't getting services, I think that's a real challenge, is just reaching those individuals. There it's such a diverse community here when you think about North County, Central County, South County, and it's about having the right, it's about meeting the needs in the community, regardless of someone's racial background, their ethnic background, whatever languages that they're speaking, their gender identity. So I think it's for us, the challenge is meeting the changing need that exists here in the county.
And I think also, too, what you had mentioned is sort of that outreach. So the programs that you've got today are really tried and true. You know that they're working. You've got people in your program. You've got people progressing. And so we just need to ensure that either whether it's because of a stigma or whether it's because of being afraid to be identified or whatever the barrier is for youth and adults to find the programs,
exactly,
whether they're yours or anyone's,
right,
or any other organizations, it's the identification to come out and say, I need help.
Right, and that comes out in so many different ways. Like, luckily, because we have been in the community for so long, there are people who
You're a
know
trusted
us.
partner.
We are trusted, and we never take that for granted. We work hard to earn that trust. So I'll give you an example. So just one client story of this mother with 2 teenagers and a 5-year-old in the home. And in the community where she was living, there were mass evictions, so she suddenly became homeless and ended up living in her car with her 3 kids, still getting them to school, but feeling overwhelmed just with the sense of no job, no home, staying in churches at times, staying in different places with friends. But that's not sustainable for the long term. And luckily, one of the kids in a high school talked to their counselor and said, this is happening for me. And so this counselor said, you need to get connected to StarVista. And that just opened kind of the world for her in many ways, because we got the teenagers into our Your House South program, which was started by Rich Gordon years ago. Yes. And then our case managers worked with her to help her find employment, to find housing, and just to hear her tell the story of that experience and how powerful it was to have our staff working with her. And I think that's the incredible thing, is that our staff, they're out there changing lives on a daily basis. And for me, that's so inspirational.
Right. And I think that for our viewers, one of the things to think about is whether or not you see a friend or a family member or a next door neighbor or someone that you met in the grocery store, always think about StarVista, because whether it's a direct program that you have that someone can benefit from, you may have resources if it's not the right fit for that family.
Absolutely.
So that's where I always try and say to people, keep StarVista on your mind when you are with your neighbors and your friends and your family, because even if StarVista might not be the right program, you're going to direct that friend, family, neighbor to the right place.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, one of the strengths, I think, of our organization, of course, we have all these programs and services, but we want our clients to get the services that they need. So if there is a chance when we're not able to deliver a service because, let's say, they need job training, as an example, we have so many partnerships with other nonprofits, and we work so well with them. We work on those relationships so that we can make sure that our clients will get those resources that they need.
So apart from our viewers being great ombudsmen for StarVista and just be thinking about the organization and how the organization can help friends, family, neighbors, what other kinds of things can we do to help StarVista do the work that you need to do? Do you need volunteers, philanthropic dollars? How can we help?
Yes, there's a couple different ways. I'm really glad that you asked that. We have, again, that crisis intervention program, our suicide prevention hotline. We're always looking for volunteers to be on the phone or on our chat line, our youth chat line, to be there for individuals who are experiencing anxiety or depression or contemplating suicide. And we have those trainings that happen a couple times during the year, and that's a great way to get connected. The other is to become more engaged with StarVista, and we've started this new initiative to get the community more engaged in the work that we're doing. And so we actually just launched this in December, and it really got going in January, and they're pretty much tours. They're like a 1-hour tour that we host in our office right here in San Carlos, and it gives people an opportunity to hear more about the work that we're doing, the impact. They get to hear firsthand client stories. We don't ask for a donation. at that point. But it's really a way to get the community galvanized and inspired. It's an opportunity for them to learn more about some of the issues that we're dealing with. And so I think that's another great way for them to get connected.
And Sarah, we just have about 30 seconds left, but I want to give you an opportunity to tell us what's coming up from an event standpoint, if we can attend in addition to your tours.
Wonderful, yes. So we have our starting line breakfast. We've been doing it for decades now, and it's going to be at the Foster City Crowne Plaza on March 20th. And we have about 200 people who come to this event, from county leaders, educators, representatives from law enforcement, donors, supporters. And it's a wonderful morning. We have client stories. This year, we're going to have a panel event focusing on youth homelessness, talking about the way all of our partners, we're all working together to address those issues. So it'd be great if people can come to that event.
Well, and I know it's one of your biggest fundraisers, so it's a way that you help fund the great work that you're doing. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us again. We always love our updates and the work that you're doing, and we just think of you always in the work that everyone within StarVista is doing, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see all of you, if not at the starting line breakfast, we'll see all of you next time on Penn Voice.